And now we're looking at number 4 on our practice test, taking a look at this sequence of pentagons. So first part asks us to complete the table showing each figure's perimeter for 5 figures. So we're only given 1, 2, and 3. And we want to assume that each side of the pentagon is worth 1, has a length of 1. And then it asks us to write a recursive rule to represent the perimeter of the design as we add more and more pentagons. And then also to create a scatter plot to represent the table, where X is our figure number and Y represents the perimeter. Right? So for this first part, for part A, we can see that on figure 1, the perimeter, again, perimeter is the outer edge, the length of the entire shape. So we can see that the perimeter is simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have that written down there in our table. Then in figure 2, we count again. We just see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's our perimeter for the second figure. So start to think about how we are going to move from term to term. Figure 3, let's count it out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. So pretty clearly, I think we can see to get from 5 to 8, we have to add 3. And then from 8 to 11, we add another 3. Let's just quickly draw out what the next figure would look like, a figure 4. I'm just going to add it right onto figure 3. It would look like another pentagon being added on, right? I know that's kind of a terrible pentagon, but that's okay. Let's just count it out and see what we would get. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So again, we add another 3. And it's pretty safe to assume then at that point that any extra pentagon we add, we're always going to add 3 to the perimeter. So let's take a look at part B now, where we want to write a recursive rule. Remember, for a recursive rule, we have to have a starting value and then a rule to move from term to term. So the starting value, where we want to start, is perimeter of 5. So start at 5. Then add 3. For every pentagon added. Now let's create a scatter plot to represent this table. So the first piece of the scatter plot is we need to make a coordinate plane. So we have our y-axis and we have our x-axis. We know that this point here is 0, is our origin. So we want x to represent the figure numbers and y to represent the perimeters. So y and x. So perimeters, the largest value we have in our table is 17. So we know that our largest value on the scale has to go beyond 17. Let's make it go to 20. And then halfway between 0 and 20 would be 10. Halfway between 10 and 20 would be 15. Halfway between 0 and 10 would be 5. Then we can make hash marks in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then along the X, we have our figure numbers. We only go up to 5 here. So let's just count by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now each of these rows in our table represents an ordered pair, X, Y, where the figure number is our X value and our perimeter is our Y value. So for this one, it's going to be 1, 5. So I go over 1 and then up to 5. For figure 2, I go over to 2 and then up to 8. So that's 6, 7, 8. For figure number 3, the perimeter is 11, so I go 3 and then up to 11. 4 and then up to 14. And then 5 and then up to 17. And I see I have a line.